Alright, in this video we're going to start popping in our CSS and then start styling this top part of the website where you see the actual site title and the site description, and then to the right you see the menu. So let's get the code that's prepared for us already. And here we are in our style sheet. That's the style sheet file in your exercise files. So we're going to copy it, all this CSS. This is a lot, except that top part because we already have that. Okay, so we have our reset and we have our WordPress core CSS already in place. So let's copy all of that, and then let's go to our working file, our theme file, and this is our style sheet. Remember, this is what we put in to activate our theme. So now we're just gonna drop all of this CSS in, just like that. Okay. So I'm just going to show you the sections that we have. First, we have the reset section. This is standard because it helps it be more compatible with different browsers. Okay, so you'll just be copying and pasting all of this stuff in, and you can read up on CSS reset styles and it will tell you more about all of that. Okay, and then below that I have another comment section. This is the WordPress core CSS styles. So when you are setting your images in your pages or your posts, and you have these different classes that you would use, right? So if you're aligning an image to the right, then it's going to float to the right, and the same with align to left, it's going to float to the left. And these are just the standard margins, but these can be adjusted, but we just have them in place so we don't have to write all that code over again. All right, so all that's set up. Yeah, it looks good, looks good. And then here's our navigation right down here, because that's what we're going to be dealing with first. Let me give that some space. Let's clean this up a little bit so that it's easier to, shouldn't have did that. So that it's easier to read. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, I guess I got to go in front. So it's easier to read. Why does it keep doing that? So let me clean this up real quick. Let me pause it and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I've cleaned up the code so that we can read it a little bit better. So as you can see, I have my navigation code in, and if we go back to our header file, header.php, you'll see that I've added a different ID, and you'll have this exact file with these updated IDs and classes. Okay, so anyway, so now that we have that in place, we have our CSS set up, and we have saved our CSS file. Now let's go look at the website and see what our menu looks like. So let's refresh. It's starting to look up. See, there we go. You see the styles are starting to take place. We're probably going to remove this search box for now so that we can style this correctly. So for now, let's just remove that, or we'll just comment it out actually. So what we want to do right here, and to comment out PHP, it's just an asterisk / at the end of the PHP function, and then a / asterisk in front. So that'll comment everything out, and then if we decide that we want to keep it there, then we could just uncomment it and then it'll be right there. But for now, let's just leave it off, and let's set up our width of our page. Okay, so we want, instead of all this stuff to be pushed over to the left, all this stuff is pushed over to the left, right? We want it to be centered in the page. Okay, so first of all, let's set up our container. So we go back to our header file, and our main wrapper is right here. Bam. So let's grab that ID. So we're going to grab that wrapper ID, copy it. Let's move this over closer to our CSS file. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit ways, and then we're going to write a new section here, and we're going to call this the site content. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to set up our first ID, which is wrapper. Okay, and then we said it was 1024, so we want to do a max width of 1024 pixels, and semicolon. That's how you close it off. Okay. Actually, what I want to do is give this some more space so it's not so close to the bottom. There we go. So we got the max width, and now we want it to be centered in the page. We don't want the contents to be centered. We want the actual frame of the website to be centered. So we'll go margin 0 and then auto, not audio. Huh? And you'll notice too when you start typing, there's suggestions for you, so that'll help you out when you start writing your CSS. So now let's save that. And then when we go to the site, we should see all of our content in the middle, right in the middle. So let's refresh. All right, look at that. It's looking good so far, right? So now let's just deal with all this stuff right here, like the body stuff, because we kind of want that to be in a little bit. We don't want it to be the same width of the site because we want that padding, right? So we have a choice. We could create a padding on the side of it. So it's just a decision on how you like to code, right? So, but what we're going to do, let's look at what we have here. So the container. So the container is what we're going to be styling. And let's just double check. Let's see what this content is wrapped in. So we're going to do an inspect element. And then from there, let's see. Yep, that's the container. So here's a quick way if you want to start styling your website. This is what I do. Okay. I see an element that's there, and then from the inspect element, I click on the plus symbol there, and then I start writing my code. So from here, I'll go, let's see, I can go, let's see what padding look like. Padding, we go top and bottom, let's say 10 pixels maybe. All right, that looks good. And then left and right, we'll say 40 pixels. Boom, see, that kind of pushes it in, so you can see like right on the edge it looks quite all right. So then what I do is I'll just copy that, right? It just makes developing so much easier. Then we go back to our style sheet, and then right out the wrapper we'll pop that in. We don't really need that div in front of it. I'll just take that off. Bam, there we go. And then save. Bam, there we go. I can do this all day long. It's just that simple. So now let's just minimize that and then refresh. So bam, there we go. And now let's just inspect this element again to make sure that we have everything the way we want. And there's our padding. You can see the outline. So it's the padding 40 on the left and the padding 40 on the right, as you can see. And then padding from the top and the bottom is 10. All right. So now there's one thing that we have to deal with here is our font. Our font right now, what we're using is Open Sans. Now I could download Open Sans and then upload it to the server and then call it in with a font face attribute. But hey, why would I do that? And I have Google Fonts right here to help me do that. So the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to apply our font to our actual site title, and then we're just going to keep moving on to the next step and move our menu to the right, push down our site title and our site description, and then we're just going to keep styling, and I'll bring you back and forth, in and out, and show you how I style so that you'll get a sense of how to work with CSS and how to style your website. Okay, so in order to add fonts that you don't have available to you, you just go to Google Fonts, okay? Or you can type in the font that you're looking for. Sometimes Google may not have the font that's available for you, but I know that Google has Open Sans. So I'm going to click on Google Fonts, Open Sans, and you can see I did a Google search for, let me go back. I did a Google search for Open Sans Google, and this is where it brought me. Then I go to the Google website, and then I click on Open, and then from here, I need to scroll down. I hate that this thing is so long. I wonder if I can get rid of that X. Oh no. Okay, you have to click choose. Oh, I got rid of it. Let's see. Go to choose page, select font. All right, let's start over. All right, here we go. So from this page, once you get to your Google Fonts, you click on open the font, whatever the font is. Okay, open fonts. And then you just have to scroll down a little bit. And then you choose the weight that you want, like light 300, normal. We'll just stick it to normal for now. And then you scroll down, and then you choose how you want to insert this font into your website. So you have all these different choices. This is the standard. You could do an import, or you can call the font in through JavaScript, but we don't want to do all that. We don't want to bloat our theme and have all that code. We want it to be readable. So basically you just copy that, copy it, and then let's go back to our theme files, and then we want to go to the header. Now inside of the header, you want to place this code right in between your head tags. Okay, so what I did was I gave myself another line right after the style sheet. Then I'm just going to paste that in. Bam, good to go. And then I'll save that. And then let's look at what our title, here's our site title. So this is the ID. Okay, so we're going to copy that ID, and then we're going to go to our style sheet. Then we're going to pop in our ID. Bam, there we go. And then what we need to do is we need to grab the actual CSS attribute for that. So let's go back to Google because they do it for us, which is really, really cool. Just scroll down a little bit more, select font family, it's already there for you, and then go back to your style sheet, come back in there, boom, paste it in, we're good to go. Let's give it some space so that it looks good and all neat. I don't know why it's not lining up, but that's okay, we'll make it line up. So now we just have to figure out what the font size was. So to do that, we go back to our Photoshop file, and here is our, oh, nope, that's the wrong one. So in order to find what you're looking for, you can just right click if you have Photoshop, and then you find the actual element that you want. And then I'll check my character, and it's 23 points. I don't want points. Let me change this real quick. This should be pixels. Come on, come on, come on. Where are you? Units and rulers. There we go. And we're going to the type. The type, I'm going to change to pixels. And this is kind of some extra knowledge for you. So it's 2304. That's the pixel size. So let's go back to our style sheet. And then we want font size. Font size is, and we paste that in, and then put pixels behind it. Boom. Control S, save it. Now let's go to the site and see how it looks. Refresh. There we go. There's our new font style right there. But as you can see, a lot of stuff is pushed up, but it's coming together. So we're nearly there. We just got to keep doing some styling. So when we come back, I'll have this header fixed. I'll have this navigation moved over to the right. And this top part that you see right now is going to look exactly like this top part right here that you see in Photoshop. Okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video.